Picking up off of that, John, a Fox News alert and law enforcement sources telling Fox News the FBI is aware of several election-related hacks on GOP officials and surrogates. We haven't heard about that until now. This is sparking some new concerns about the possibility of Russia meddling with the presidential election, and comes less than 2 months after hackings rocked the DNC. President Vladimir Putin denied Russian involvement. Of course, we don't know it for sure that it's happening, but that's the word on the street, so to say. Our chief intelligence correspondent, Herridge, is live in Washington with more on all of this. Catherine?
Well, thank you, Jen. The special assistant to the president and coordinator for cybersecurity telling a conference here in Washington this morning that the cyber threat is now being used to achieve political objectives.
They can very effectively and at a very cheap rate try to achieve their goals through cyberspace. And that means that we expect over the next few years for the rate of intrusions and probes and attacks to actually increase.
Well, the successful hack of the DNC, the DCCC, that's the group that funds congressional House races, and then also this week's leaks about the Clinton campaign, one Republican says that there's evidence that the hackers are also after Republican targets.
The FBI is doing their attribution now. They have an investigation into this. They have come to certain conclusions thus far that I can't talk about. But I would hope that they would, in the near future, come out very strongly about what Russia has done and what the response is going to be.
While the administration has not publicly called out the Russian President Vladimir Putin, other lawmakers briefed on the evidence expect the cyber intrusions to really intensify in the final weeks of the election. And one of the reasons, based on my past experience, the White House would be reluctant to assign publicly attribution is that it does require some court of action as a punishment, if you will. We saw that with the Sony case, Jenna.
That's really important to note, because we're looking for the facts, who exactly is doing it, and there's a lot of whispering, but we don't have it for sure. Because of all of this, though, Catherine, some lawmakers are talking about our voting process and what we're doing to modernize the voting process, and how they have some concerns about that. Tell us a little bit about where that's going.
Well, it's a very sort of interesting twist in the story. Congresswoman Candace Miller, who was Michigan's former Secretary of State, said that this really big push to modernize the voting process after 2000 has created some vulnerabilities.
I do think the paper ballots are the way to go. Really, again, they're recountable. There's a paper trail there, so there's never going to be an issue with people hacking into that. And they do get the election results just as fast as the computerized election equipment.
I don't think anyone thought we'd be talking about paper ballots and how valuable they would be that much time later. But this is the issue with the non-paper systems, and the real focus right now by these Russian-backed militias on the voter registration databases in at least 2 states, Jenna.
That is fascinating, and it really does, as you point out, come full circle.
Back to paper.
We'll see. It's just, as we are as well right now on the air sometimes.
Can't get enough paper, yeah.
Catherine, thank you very much.
You're welcome.